Hey y'all, this is Sergeant Dan with Palmetto Edge. So this video isn't exactly going to be a review. This is going to be more of a show and tell discussion, whatever have you. One of my viewers, who's also a YouTuber himself, if I can figure out how exactly, I can't imagine it'd be hard. I'll leave a link to his channel down in my description here. I don't claim to be tech savvy by any means, but I don't think that'd be too hard to figure out, right? Of course, that's not really tech, but whatever. I'm not super computer smart, but I think I could figure that out. Anyway, this is actually a video that I thought of doing before, and then him asking just made me go, yeah, okay, I'll do it. He wanted me to kind of go over how police use knives and stuff. So I thought, well, yeah, sure, I can do that. That sounds like a good idea. Like I said, I've thought of it previously and kind of dismissed it, but since someone's wanting to see it, you got it, man. So I typically, the knives that I carry on duty, I typically have split up into 4 different categories, in example by the ones that you see here. This kind of goes hand in hand a little with my video on the role of knives in everyday lives. If you haven't seen that one, make sure you go check it out. But the 4 categories that I typically carry on duty are strictly personal defense, self-defense, ones that kind of bridge a gap between self-defense and light utility. Okay, so we've got self-defense, can double as self-defense or light utility, and then my beater knives. Okay, so let me get some of these off the table here, and I will go one group at a time here. So these are knives that I typically carry while on duty for self-defense purposes. This one stays on me at all times on my weak side, and it's a K-Bar TDI law enforcement. So come on, focus. Always giving me troubles. So to be quite honest with you, to be totally upfront and frank about it, these knives have one purpose and one purpose only, and that purpose is to either, I say self-defense strictly. I mean, if I'm in a bad situation where I need a knife and this is the only knife I can get to, or this one, or this one, or this one, okay, they can still cut. They can still do what any knife does, okay? But my idea behind these is for self-defense purposes only, okay? So I keep this one on my weak side so I can get to it with my left hand and, do what I need to with it. This one I don't carry a lot on duty. This is more one that I carry off duty, CRKT Provoke. I've actually done a video of this one, slicing up a piece of meat with it, so go check that one out too. That's pretty cool. So I'll get this one off the table. This is just an example. I do carry this one sometimes while I'm on duty, but like I said, this one's more or less for when I'm off duty. So yeah, I'll get that one off the table. Now, the one that I do typically carry on duty is this one. This is my Spyderco Matriarch. I typically keep this one on my strong side, so on the same side as my duty weapon. Again, kind of a self-defense, last-ditch effort knife like all of these are, okay? This one has the wave feature here, so when I pull it out of my pocket, it's open, ready to go. Let's see, this one I typically keep around my neck because it is a neck knife, and it is just a little bitty, this is the Kershaw. It's one of the Almar ones. I don't remember what number this one is, but I mean, you see this one's just a little, poker, you know what I mean? And then this one I don't carry all the time. If I'm in plain clothes and still need to have my badge displayed, or if I'm in kind of Class C, if you will, uniform and have this around my neck, then I have this one here ready to go too. Cool thing about this one too, and I do this sometimes, is I can actually switch the badge around, switch it upside down, and carry it on my belt with the knife here sticking up, okay? So that is the first class of knives that I typically carry, and like I said, these these are all knives that I've never had to use. Hope I never do have to use, okay? They're there for, man, that just in case, you know what I mean? And, purpose of these knives is nothing more than slicing meat, okay? So that brings us into my next class, and these are the ones that kind of bridge a gap between light utility and self-defense. So what do I have here? I have my Emerson Commander. Love this knife. Absolutely love it. I know there's people that can take or leave Emersons. Okay. I absolutely love them. Emerson Commander. And when I carry this one, it is typically on my strong side as well. Again, it's an Emerson, so it has that. Not all of them do, but this one has the wave feature. So as soon as I pull it out of my pocket, it's ready to go. Now, one reason why I say, and that goes for both of these. This one I have an aftermarket thing on that helps me, wave it open out of my pocket. One reason why I say a dual purpose for these is because they're both good for self-defense, but they're also good for EDC tasks, light use. Heavy use too, okay, but I don't like to use my nice knives for heavy use. That's why I have the beater category that we'll get to here shortly. So yeah, both of these, are set up so that I can use them both for light use and heavy use, okay, or light use and self-defense. Yeah, and then this one too. Same thing for it. Light use or self-defense. I've got when I'm wearing like one of my Class B sort of deal, my polo to work or something like that. I've got this little pocket up around my collar that I keep this in, and same idea for this one as this one. It's a small, sharp little thing that can do some light slicing and some serious poking. Okay, but again, I have all of these here that are ones that I have used for light use, and I'll get to what I mean by light use and into what I'm talking about as far as how police, at least this police officer, uses his knives with this next category here. And this next category is going to be the biggest one, okay? Because I love knives so much, I like to rotate them. There's many of these that I carry a bunch, some that I carry occasionally, but all of these knives here are ones that I do carry while on duty. All right, so when we start talking about how police use their knives, again, this is for me. This is just talking about my experience. I use them in the same typical way that most people do, okay? When you talk about EDC tasks, that's what all of these knives are for. Maybe some stranger things than other people would use these knives or their knives for. And by stranger things, I mean, like I have cut into luggage bags with these. I have cut people out of seat belts with these. I have used, let's see, let me make sure, these two and this one. So this, let me get to them. This is the Kershaw Launch 3. I've used this one, my Spyderco Native 5, and my Benchmade Precinct, at least that I know of off the top of my head in particular, to scoop drugs out of a bag and put them in a field test kit. Okay, so these, these have had, golly, yeah, okay, so probably most of these knives have come in contact with some sort of drugs of some sort at some point in time. A couple of them have cut people out of seat belts. If you'll notice, where are they? These, this one, and this one in particular, all have glass breakers. Come on, focus. Work with me, man. All have glass breakers on the tips. Okay. And this one in particular has broken a windshield or two. So what do I typically look for as far as a knife that I want to carry on duty? One thing that I typically really like is either automatic opens. Let me get this one out of the way. This is one that I carry occasionally. Reason why it's on here is because I have carried it, several times, and it has done police work for me before. Okay, but this is not typically what I like to go for with a knife that I carry on duty. And I will tell you what I do typically look for. I look for easy one-hand operation. Okay, so that's why I typically like my automatics. I'm trying to arrange this as I go. That's why I typically like my automatics a whole lot as far as on-duty carry. So yeah, I like the easy. Main thing is easy one-handed opening. Okay, so every single one of these, easy one-handed opening, fairly easy one-hand closing. This one's just totally easy, both ways, open and close. Okay, so reason for that is because I want a knife that I know I can get open in one shot, that I know is going to, deploy reliably, stay locked open, and ease of use with these. Now, is that saying that some of these other ones that I have aren't? No, because another thing that I do like, that I know a lot of people don't, but me being in the line of work that I'm in, is assisted open knives, like this Benchmade Mini Velation here. Okay, once again, it's one of those things where if I deploy it, I know 100%, barring some catastrophic failure, okay? These are man-made objects. They can all fail, okay? But barring some catastrophic failure, it will open and stay open for me, and open reliably and stay open. So yeah, and that's another thing that I can typically get from Benchmades. That's a good reliable open, good lock open, okay? Same with my bailout here, okay? Even if I want to do it, that's what I'm talking about. If I were in a high-stress, tense situation and I didn't get it flipped right and it doesn't open all the way, what good is that knife going to... Now I'm stumbling around for a couple of seconds trying to get it open, okay? Now this is one that I do, like I said, I do carry, so that's just something to keep in mind while carrying it. Same for my Contigo here. Okay, I can definitely get it open, okay, but again, if I were to not do it hard enough, okay, and it not open, or if I were to not flick my wrist just right and it not open, I then don't have a knife that has opened reliably in a intense situation or something that I need it to. And then, of course, there's my Leatherman. I can't tell you how much use this thing's got. And not so much the blade as the pliers and some of the screwdrivers and the prying capabilities and everything with it. This is a Leatherman Wingman. I've had this one for, golly, a long time. I couldn't even tell you how long. And this one actually stays on my duty belt. I've got it in a pouch on my duty belt. So this is one that 100% of the time when I'm on duty, I carry with me. So yeah, let me get that one out of the way to make room for these. Now the deal with these two is I'm typically also carrying more than one of these at a time. One thing I didn't mention with my self-defense ones, I'm typically carrying more than one of those at a time too. When I'm on duty, I have anywhere between 3 and when I'm got some new knives and I want to carry them for a while, I'm carrying them too. Okay, I have anywhere between 3 and golly 10 knives on me at a time. Okay, so you know, and the reason for that is if you know, if I'm in a bad situation and I need to get to a knife, and say my right hand, my right arm, my right hand is tied up with something else, okay, I can come to one of my knives on my left side, get it out, do what I need to do with it, okay? Same thing goes for you know, if my left hand's tied up, I can go for one of my knives on my right side, okay, get it out, do what I need to do, okay? I have them in multiple places on my person too, you know, anywhere from, you know, like I said with this one, anywhere from up around, you know, neck area all the way down to my boots, okay? And that is, again, for the purpose of if I need to get to a knife on my left side and I, for some reason, can't get to the one in my left pocket, maybe I can get to the one in my left cargo pocket. If I can't get to that one, maybe I can get to the one down in my boot, okay? So I'm typically carrying, you know, multiples of these at a time, not necessarily all of these, all right, but multiple ones at a time. So yeah, I think I've pretty much covered this group. All right, let me address one knife in particular real quick for just a second here, and that is going to be my ProTech TR5. If you'll notice, this one, unlike all of my other automatic knives that I have shown and on the table, this one has a safety. This knife in particular, I never keep the safety on because it all comes back to muscle memory, okay? None of my other automatic knives that I typically carry have a safety. So if I were to leave the safety on this one, go to draw it out and do it like any of my other automatic knives, and I'm hitting that button and it's not opening, I'm losing time, okay? Time is money, time is life, okay? So, and I don't worry about it deploying in my pocket because typically I have one thing in each pocket when I'm on duty. That way I don't get confused about what's where or where to find something in particular. So, you know, when I say I carry multiple knives, I don't carry multiple knives in one pocket. And the pockets that do have knives in them, I don't carry anything else in those pockets except that knife. So I don't worry about this one deploying in my pocket because if you'll notice, that button does not stick out. It is even with the frame of the knife here. And then if you'll see, it's got a little cutout, so you have to actually depress the button into that cutout to get it open, okay? So that was just something I wanted to address real quick. And then my last class of knives, and I only have 2 of them here with me, is my beater knives. I typically kind of try and look for the same thing with my light use knives with these is ease of deployment, reliability of deployment. Okay, so the 2 that I have here in particular are the Kershaw Cryo 2 and a Boker Kalashnikov. The third one that I don't have here is a fixed blade 511 that typically, I typically wear my holster on a thigh rig. And so that knife usually stays down there with my holster on my strong side. So these knives, you want to talk about the ones that have been used and abused the most. I actually haven't had this one long, so this one really hasn't. But man, this Kershaw Cryo 2 here, this one has seen some hard use and it is still going. You know, when I sat there thinking about this video and thinking about the knives that I was going to show, I was going, I've got to get my Cryo 2 in there. This guy has seen some stuff, let me tell you. This one has been used to, again, cut seat belts, cut open containers of drugs, you know, cocaine, methamphetamine, marijuana, all that kind of stuff. This one has before I was more thoughtful about stuff, this one actually helped me bust open a windshield using the corner of it here. Okay, just few hard hits and it was open. This one, if anything you can imagine that a police officer could cut other than people, okay, this has cut. I mean, this has been just a wonderful, wonderful beater knife for me. And the reason why I say beater is because these things are what, $40, if even that much. If I were to totally tear this one up, it's easy to replace. Okay, same for the Kalashnikov here. If I were to tear one of these up, they're cheap and easy to replace. Dang, what else? This one has cut into tires before, on a drug search. My 511 that I don't have here to show you has been used at a scene of an arson to start cutting into, walls of a house and wood and stuff like that to check out the burn patterns, burn depths, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, just anything you could think of that could be done with a knife, this one has probably done it. Now, let's see. If I get back to... All right, so, hold on, let me find a better example. Okay. So as far as ones outside of the self-defense category, okay, my crossover ones, my light use ones, and my beaters. The reason why I carry something like this, a light use, is because I'm a knife guy, okay? I'm a knife guy. I like having nice knives. I like carrying nice knives. I like using nice knives. But if it came down to, if I were going to have to, cut into some kind of a hard plastic container, cut open a tire again, something like that, would I want to use my, $200 Contigo to do that? No. Could it do it? I absolutely believe it could without issue. But do I want to even put that risk on damaging this one? No. So that's why this one. Same for this. Would I want to put that risk on damaging one of my nice knives? No, I wouldn't. That's why I have my Kershaw Cryo 2. So it can, take the beating and keep going, or not. And like I said, if not, it can be replaced. It would be a whole lot easier for me to replace a $40 Cryo 2 than a $150 Manix 2 XL or a $200 Contigo. Okay, so yeah, there you have it. That's just that's the basics of the kind of knives I carry, what they're used for, typically in my line of work. So yeah, just your typical, 90% of the time, your typical EDC tasks, okay? Apart from the 10% of the time where I'm doing something law enforcement related with them. What kind of people typically cut open a tire looking for drugs, or use their knife to scoop some meth into a little test kit. Okay, so that's typically, that's it. So if you have any questions, comments, whatever, anything like that, be sure to leave them down in the comment section there. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Go check out my Instagram. It's at Palmetto Edge. And because Instagram's being kind of buttholes right now and hiding a bunch of the knife community hashtags, I also now have a Twitter going, and it's the same thing, at Palmetto Edge. So go check both of those out. Thank y'all again for watching, guys. Y'all have a good one.